the Content Cyborg. And I really like the idea because ever since, it must have been in the 70s in academic circles, they came up with the term artificial intelligence. And I think that's a misnomer because especially the word artificial in artificial intelligence, because just by naming it artificial, they could have also named it like fake, pretend. That's as if it's not real. And artificial has this, it has this ring to it that will have people think that it's not real, so it's of less value. They should have called it augmented intelligence, but it's too late now because we now have augmented reality. It would be really confusing. I like the word cyborg because it's a term that's been invented probably also in the 1970s. It's a mix of cybernetics, which is like physical moving parts, and then the Borg part, of course, which is the human, the flesh part. And that I wrote a blog post about the brain-computer interfaces. So just imagine that if you work with generative AI the way I do, more as a companion, and you give it a little input and then it gives you something back and you adapt it, and then at a certain point in time you're not completely happy with it, and then you throw it back and you optimize each other's work and then learn on both sides of the fence, right? That's when you're a cyborg, really. You get augmented, your own skills, your own talent is being augmented, and at the same time you're also training this AI. And even when it comes to, and that's where it gets interesting, I think, when you need an interface, so now we have to type on a keyboard with your fingers. It would be a lot easier to get it straight from the brain. And that's the brain-computer interfaces. And we're going to need the buzzer once more, because the second taboo word is Elon Musk. And yes, he thinks that if we as humans want to keep ahead of artificial general intelligence, that would take over humanity because it's a lot smarter and more efficient than we are. So to arm ourselves against this, he says we should augment our brains by creating an interface instead of going all the way from your brain through your physical body with all its flaws to your fingers to a keyboard. I mean, that's just so many. The whole process is just very clunky. So the idea of brain-computer interfaces is that you can think something, and then through this brain-computer interface, exactly the way as the Borg have them in Star Trek. So they have something plugged in, literally, into their skull, and this enables them to be in constant contact with the rest of the hive, for example. And I'm against intrusive technology. I would rather not have holes drilled in my skull. And also, I think if you have something like a hole drilled in your skull, and then some cable going into your brain, and then on your brain there's the chip. The chip also needs power, so there would be battery. So I'm also not very impressed by Neuralink. All I've seen so far is a monkey playing pong with its brain. But working with AI, just imagine, so it's just philosophically, if we see ourselves as cyborgs when creating content, which is what I would do, I'm open to the idea to become a content cyborg, and I don't have to type in and chat with a bot in order to augment my creativity, while at the same time
it's directly input in your
I'm open to that.